Hello, this is Shambhavi from Shambhavi Spectrum. Ace it with passion. That's what I like to do. Now, are you surprised by the size of the whiteboard out here? Yes, we are used to having smaller whiteboards, and then we have like some kind of a combination of a flip board. This was a whiteboard which I got for my daughter when she was going to do her MYP exams, and we've always had a whiteboard at home, and I'll tell you the reason why and what the advantages are. This, by the way, is a 6 feet by 3 whiteboard, and believe you me, the price of it was very reasonable, and I purchased it from Bilkis Stationery in Sharjah. They delivered it to me at home, and this goes wherever I go, especially wherever I am working. And in the follow-up sessions, you'll see how I keep my calendar out here and I do mind maps and things out here. You will see all those videos also. Today, however, I want to dedicate this specific session to my professor, Professor Bajaj, who was our instructor, teacher, when I was doing my MSc in chemistry. Yes, most people associate me with marketing and don't realize that I'm actually a master's in organic chemistry. And I feel that it was a little late in life when we learned about how we could use a whiteboard, or in those days what we called as a blackboard. But today I want to share this with everybody who is listening to me, that please use a whiteboard or a blackboard and tell others, start as early as possible. Now, let me go back to my MSc days, and what we had in our organic subject was like, there used to be 25 steps for doing a derivation from one compound to another compound. We had drugs as specialization as well. And yes, in another life I would be like making that miracle drug which would save all of us or make us feel no pain. But in this one, I am all about marketing, and here I am just talking about the whiteboard. So what our sir told us is that every week one of us had to do a presentation. Now, those who are familiar with chemistry, either you love it or you hate it. So for those of you who hate it, this will be more interesting information. Every step from coming to compound A to compound B, you would have like 25 steps. In every step, there would actually be an activator, a catalyst, a pressure, a temperature, which one would have to go through. I don't have to count and tell you how many number of things you need to remember by the time you reach the compound B, because you had 25 steps, right? Now, everyone thinks it's about memory. It is actually not about memorizing it at all. There is a big logical factor in this. Now, trying to present this in front of your classmates, in front of your professor, would actually kind of give you little nightmares. But along with asking us to do this task, he also empowered us with the knowledge of the blackboard, which it was in those days, having a chart paper. And he said what you should do is keep your notebook in one particular place and stay away from that. So your blackboard should be behind a wall or something, behind your door, where it would be, where you would normally hang it. Now, most people, when I talk to them about revision or trying to how they study, they always say that they keep the notebook in front of them and they will study, and then they'll put it there in the side itself, and they'll start doing the derivations, and then whenever they stop, when there is a problem, they will open their notebook, which is their main reference point, take the important points from that, and then they will kind of continue their derivation. So what happens in this is actually there is the solution you have found for a very temporary time, which goes into your short-term memory. However, what sir told us is you keep your notebook and your textbook or whatever it is away from you. So at least you have a 3 feet, 5 feet distance. Stand near your board which you have hung on your door using chalk, and you start doing the derivation. As you go through the process, you know it, so you're continuously, very quickly doing it. The minute you realize that you don't know the next step, then what you do is you stand there, you think for a few seconds, you walk till your desk, then you open your notebook, then you come back and you write it, which means now it has been pushed to your long-term memory. Also, if you realize that when what you knew, you were going over it quickly in any case. In future, what will happen is wherever the point when you stopped, that also becomes very easy for you, because you know that this is where you had your challenge. Now, whether this is chemistry, whether this is derivation of math, or whether you're looking at solving some sums in any subject, or it is just some acronyms which you've created for your management subjects or for your marketing subjects, anything which you need to kind of keep in mind and make sure that you don't lose all those points. This is a very important point, how to use the whiteboard. So just having a whiteboard is not enough. Now, why I say whiteboard, because in those days we had blackboard and you had this chalk which we used to write with. Now we have the facility of using a whiteboard, and this one is actually mobile. You can move it from one room to another room. As a student, I would say that if you can get a whiteboard of a decent size, put it up somewhere in your room, use different color pens, and use this for your derivations, for things which you need to remember, which you have tough time trying to recollect. Now, you can also use the whiteboard by writing some important things out there which you need to do, and then you can tick them off as you have done them and as you have finished with that particular thing. Now, my daughter, she also used it in a manner that with each subject which she would do, she would write on the board and she would keep, and then she would kind of mark and say that this topic is done, that topic is done, and she would just tick mark and that. And I, as a parent, would be happy that whatever her goals were achieved. So you can use the similar thing in an office, that if you have certain goals for a day, a to-do list for a day, or certain deadlines which you want to do for the day or for the week, whatever, you can mark it out there, and you can have other people use different color pens to mark and say that yes, the task is done. And for more on this whiteboard and how to use it with a mind map, keep watching this. So once again, I want to thank my Professor Bajaj sir for having taught me this, and I want to spread this word to everyone. Please get a whiteboard, use marker pens, and use this method to study. Keep your books away from you and come back to it when you really need that particular point. This will help push things into long-term memory. If you need any more information on this, go ahead and put a comment, send me a message, and I'll see you again. Thank you.